So my name is Lily Fan, and this session is part of Inner Fire mentorship program designed to help job seekers in the interview process. So this is a very common question. I'm sure you've seen it all the time. When you walk into a room, the person across from you will say, "Hi, can you tell me a little bit more about?" So don't make the mistake of going just telling them what's already on your resume. They already read your resume. They know about you. So don't start saying things like, "Oh, I have 5 years of experiences in marketing. I know Java." Instead, what the job seeker is looking to know is who you are, what are your passions, and what you can do for them. Yeah. So let's move on to the next part. This is where you should tell a story about, tell your own story. And this is not an easy process. So take some time to dig really deep and find your own inner voice and let that story shine through, because this is what they're going to remember when they walk outside of the room. They interview so many people in a day, they're not going to remember that you have this specific 5 years of experience here or like this specific programming skill there. They're going to remember more about your passions and the intensity in your voice and your story. So why is it that people like to hire passionate people? It's very simple, because passionate people are very proactive, right? Because they don't actually view it the job simply as a job. They view it as a calling. They view it as like something that they love to do. So, for example, if I give this car on the left, this broken car here, to a mechanic, and if the mechanic doesn't love his job, he's gonna be thinking, oh, it's not another car I have to fix. But if the mechanic loves his job and this is what he wants to do, he's already thinking of what color he's gonna paint on it, how it's gonna run down the freeway, right? Proactivity really matter. Here we have Sir Richard Branson, the founder of the Virgin Group, a multi-billionaire and a very successful entrepreneur. He said that purpose is no longer a buzzword, it's a must-have. Passion and purpose will keep people focused on the job at hand and ultimately separate the successful from the unsuccessful. So don't be afraid to let your voice shine through, right? But then the next question is, well, passion is something very fuzzy and it's very hard to explain. So how are we going to structure this discussion? I have a simple framework for you. What I would suggest is, first, you focus on sharing with them your passion and the topic that you apply your passion to. Second, you explain what actions you have taken. And third, you explain why there's a clear alignment between your passion and the company's mission statement. So let me give you an example. So first, let's try to dig deep and think of what you might be passionate about. Here, I like to think of it as, what do you do that consistently gives you an immense sense of satisfaction? It's not like just like eating ice cream, you feel satisfied for that like 1 minute, but like consistent long-term satisfaction. What do you do? Think about this. Do you like solving challenges, right? Like, for example, I have an uncle and he loves solving challenges. At the age of 7, and in the house there was only one radio. He came from a time and age, radio was still popular. He tore it apart. He wants to know what is in the radio, and then he put it all back together. So for him, his passion is like solving challenges. For me, my passion is about sharing knowledge. I love learning new things, thinking about it, breaking it down in a simple way, and sharing it with people so that they can also apply it. And that's why I'm here making this session for you, right? So I get such a kick out of doing this. So this is me. Some other people love creating things, right? I have a friend who he went to a top university in Singapore. Instead of pursuing a career in engineering, he loves photography. He loves creating new like images. He loves that whole process of creation. So for him, it's creating. For my sister, as an example, she is a people person. She loves bringing people together, helping them out, throwing parties, and making them happy. Um, some people love and improving on new things. So, as an example, I have a cousin who loves readings, and then he thinks really deeply about certain products and how to make them better. So, I don't expect you to have an answer right now, but I want you to really think deeply about this and find an underlying theme, whether it's creating or connecting or improving. What do you really like to do that just, that you just shine, that you just feel so happy? And the next thing I want you to think about is, once you find that underlying theme, what topic do you apply that toward, right? Like, for example, what topic you talk to your friends nonstop about, and tell a story to explain why. So let me give you an example. So for me, the topic that I talk to my friends nonstop is about career development. Exactly this, right? So I meet my friends and I'll be talking about, oh yeah, I love interviewing people and all these things, and they're tired of hearing me talk about it. So the story why this came about was because when I was about 25 years old, I believe, I went to this job interview that I really, really wanted. I really wanted this job. And the interviewer asked me a question about, like, okay, how do you measure success in your work? And I didn't know the answer. And so I was just, like got stuck and my face turned red and I felt sick in my stomach. And they really liked me, but because I couldn't answer the question clearly, they didn't hire me, so I failed the job interview. But then since then, I have grown and I've learned a lot of things, and I would like to use that sort of knowledge to share with you so that you can pass your interviews, right? So for me, that's the story that was kind of like a defining moment for me. So I want you to think more about stories, especially in the face of adversity, especially in the face of challenges. Another story with me was, I love talking about healthy food because my dad got sick, and he was a diabetic. He got sick and he passed away from it. But if he had been better, if we have no more information about nutrition, he could have lived longer, right? So for me, these sort of topics are really close to my heart, and that's what I'm really passionate about. So, what actions have you taken? For the fresh graduate, this is a little bit difficult because you're fresh. But if you find out what you like early on, I would suggest that there are multiple things you can do to show that you have taken action. The first thing, quite simple, you can publish a LinkedIn post, and I will tell you how to do this in a separate talk. You can also volunteer, you can intern, like as an example, if you love, working on certain, you love working on like photography, you can intern with a studio as an example. And for this, don't be shy, reach out to a mentor, and somebody who has 20 years experience ahead of you that you respect. They can help you guide through this process. So the next thing I want to talk about, when they ask you, tell me about yourself, you need to talk about the alignment between your passion and the company mission, right? So as an example, this is Tony Fadell. You're probably familiar with him. He was a chief designer on the iPod, and now he runs a company for that makes smart thermostat for your house called NAS company. And my passion is about improving product. I would say something along the line of, the reason why I'm interviewing for NES is because Tony Fadell, CEO, is obsessed with design and wants to make the users, the experience for the users as intuitive, as simple as possible. I myself also, since the age of 5, really driven to solve problems and to make things as simple as possible. This is just how my brain works. right? You need to make that sort of alignment between what the company does and what you really love to do. So let me just give you a last example. If we're gonna tie all this together, right? You walk into a room, sit across from you is like hopefully friendly face that asks you the question, tell me about yourself, right? Say I go interview for Khan Academy, which is a nonprofit that I really respect, and they ask me that question. This is what I would tell them. First, again, I would tell them my passion and my topic. Second, I would tell them a story of why I became passionate in this. Then I also would tell them the next one is what actions I have taken. And then I would draw a clear alignment. Okay, so this is how it goes. Tell me about yourself. Well, I've always been very passionate about sharing practical knowledge, especially helping young professionals. My story came about because when I was in my mid 20s, I went for a job interview. I really wanted the job. I didn't have any experience in interviewing, so I failed it. And because I failed the interview, I was very motivated to learn as much as I can so I can improve. And since I've done that, I want to share that knowledge so that other people could learn and grow themselves. Um, the actions I have done in the past 3 years is that I have mentored more than 100 students so that they can also find and grow their career. The reason why I'm applying for Khan Academy because there's a very clear alignment between your mission statement of bringing world-class education to all and my passion of sharing practical knowledge. So I believe that I would be able to excel in this role and help the company grow significantly. So thank you so much for your time. This is the end of our discussion. Feel free to, find me on LinkedIn, drop me a line, join our LinkedIn group if you have any questions, and I look forward to seeing you at the next session.